and welcome to The Wire Wrap, our weekly show that we've been conducting during the Lok Sabha elections to bring you the important developments. Now the results are out, and this is our first show after that. With me today is senior journalist and author Saba Naqvi and MK Venu, founding editor of The Wire. Thank you both so much for joining me.
Pleasure, yeah.
Before we get into what I really want to talk about today, which is what happens next, I want to ask both of you if you could give me your, say, top 2 or 3 takeaways from these results. We've seen a lot of analysis already since it's been a few days, but just what has stood out for you? Saba?
So, Modi is definitely cannot be the same person again. I wonder at how the Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah will proceed forward, and will he even remain Home Minister? But even if we presume that he does, it's not the same. They can go on saying we have the numbers, but a coalition is an entirely different situation.
They have 63 seats less than they did in 2019 as a party.
Yeah, that's just the arithmetic part of it. They've lost the narrative. After all that bombast, that this is ek akela sab pe bhari, this great man presented like a priest, presented like a king, presented like a non-biological being, in his own words. Like a sage. Look at, I mean, he's lost numbers, and in a very serious way, from a very significant state, which is the state of Uttar Pradesh. These are my top 2 takeaways. And Congress, it's really like they've really come back. Yes, they've just about hit 100. Congress is the surprise here. TMC, excellent show. And DMK, one can always rely on them to fight on certain things, and they've delivered full time. These are my takeaways. Yeah.
Venu?
So similar to what she said, but I'll put them in one-liners.
Okay.
So my first takeaway is that Indian democracy has progressed from 56 inches to 36 inches.
That's a good one.
And my second takeaway is that I would like to see now how a non-biological being deals with coalition partners who are biological beings. So that for me will be the most interesting thing to watch in the weeks ahead. And the third thing, of course, that Congress's revival is the most critical thing to have happened in our democracy, because whether you like it or not, Congress is a national party, and a national opposition getting 100 seats was very important. Now they will have a leader of opposition, they will have greater voice in parliament, and this great campaign of Modi and Shah, the last 10 years of Congress Mukt Bharat, is clearly not coming to fruition. These are my takes.
Sorry, were you?
No, I just wanted to, since you've come up with such smart lines, let me also add one IPL type of line, which is completely, I stole it from Dipankar, because I met him yesterday. He won 2 seats. It is completely Lucknow super giants have knocked out the Gujarat frauds. That's what,
Now, as both of you mentioned, this is very much going to be a coalition government. The BJP on its own has 240 seats. It's well short of the 272 majority mark. Only with its NDA allies is it making it to 293. Now, Narendra Modi has already announced that he's going to be Prime Minister. He's already invited foreign leaders to his swearing in on June 9th, even though the President has not yet invited anyone to form government. But in the last 10 years, we've seen a very deep concentration of power, both in terms of the nation, how the central government was holding power over states, but also within the BJP, how Narendra Modi and Amit Shah together really seem to have a hold on all the decision making. Saba, I wanted to ask you, I know you've written about this as well. How do you think that is going to change? Is Modi's image within the BJP going to take a hit of some sort as well?
No, of course it's already has, and some of the internal mumblings from candidates who have been defeated. It was always visible on the ground. I'll just give you some examples. I found the oddest thing in the seat of Fatehpur Sikri, which the BJP had won with 4.5 lakh margin last time. They repeated the same candidate. As we drove into the seat, there was this Rajput village where they were all abusing and say in the way, the Braj dialect, and Rajputs, unlike Dalits, will say what they want to say openly. So they were all abusing, ki, are we going to go to hospital in the Ram Mandir? Things like that were being said. And then I have a photograph of, the name was Faujdar. Then one goes to Fatehpur, near the Sikri, there is a board outside saying ex-BJP, something RSS, something Faujdar. Those were the names. And I shot a picture with him also. So he was that was a family of 4 pracharaks. And they didn't even, they were not motivated to work, they didn't like the candidate, and they were saying that they would still do the work in the end, but they didn't even find that kind of instruction coming till the dates that I was there. Yeah. And they were pretty open about it. The thing about the BJP and the RSS is, because I've covered them so much, yeah, the Delhi leadership may not talk to you, but actually in the districts they're quite talkative because they're so, they have a plan and they're organized and all of that. There was levels of disorganization which was seen between them. Yet, you can't just, one very clever thing that the Bharatiya Janata Party journalists and all are trying to do is trying to say, oh, we were actually had problems in ourselves. The seat distribution was wrong, all of this, but the people turned against you. If you don't accept that, 8% of the vote in UP went down. Yeah. So, I don't know if I've digressed from the original question that you asked, but so there were all sorts of things happening. You know, one was not sure, will this play out? But I was just seeing that Fatehpur Sikri, the BJP won with a very narrow margin. Right. It was the same display as, so all of this, and a seat which had over 4.5 lakhs, you know. Yeah. So all these margins going down, even where they won. Right. So one was not seeing something which was weird. I mean, even I could say this is odd, some aberration, one, you know, anecdotal evidence may not be right, but one was not wrong in what one encountered over there.
But the point that the question that she is asking is, which I would want you to, since you've written a book on, you've traced BJP's history, the last 40 years, yes. Whether BJP will move towards internally, BJP always had a certain internal democracy, if you please. I mean, of course, on big issues, they are all on big issues during Vajpayee Advani's time. So, will we see a more consensus-based BJP going ahead, and this concentration of power in Modi and Amit Shah? Will it? I think some consensus-based tradition BJP might want to sort of revive, you know.
BJP now, so who takes the decisions now? Exactly. Yeah. Mr. Modi, knowing Mr. Modi, how will they take it? So Mr. Modi, as you know, from the time he goes to Gujarat, he demolishes all the other power centers in the BJP. Let's not focus on Delhi.
Yeah.
In Gujarat, there's Keshubhai, there was an old BJP veteran called Kanchiram Rana, there was Suresh Mehta.
Gujarat RSS also.
Gujarat RSS, Vishwa Hindu Parishad, which participated in the riots and, you know, gave him a great entree because he becomes Chief Minister of Gujarat in the year 2001. At the end of it, because of post-earthquake, there is a lot of anti-incumbency against the Keshubhai regime in Gujarat. Buildings collapse, corruption. So they changed the leadership. The BJP and the RSS, and Atal Bihari Vajpayee is the Prime Minister. Advani and all convince him that there is this Sangathan Mantri, which is an important post, organizing secretary, who's talented, he's a good speaker. So he goes there, he has not won a mandate. And the riots take place in February 2002, and then after that, when the elections take place months later, Narendra Modi wins a mandate. Yeah. But so since then, he has demolished, he first goes about cutting to size all the other power centers in the BJP. Yeah. There was, and the BJP of Gujarat was notoriously sort of open about its factions. You know, there was Shankar Singh Waghela was one of them. They were all there. There was this term used, Hajuria Khajuria also, which I never understood. One faction was called this, anyway, the point is Narendra Modi prevails. In the end, all of these various factions within the BJP, the Vishwa Hindu Parishad are cut to size, and he runs the state with the help of a lot of bureaucrats. We go 3 terms in Gujarat, and then he comes to Delhi. And who all has he replaced? let's just look at the state leaderships. Forget, he replaces YS Yedurappa in Karnataka. They diminish him, then they don't do well in the elections, the Congress wins. Then they realize that now Yedurappa is a classic caste leader. You know, he is not, he is just a classic caste Lingayat leader, and he is the most significant Lingayat leader. And in the state, forget the BJP. So then they find a roundabout way to go back and they get Vijendra, his son. So they get that in. So they've diminished Vasundhara Raje. They passed the women's reservation bill. Look at the BJP. And the one woman who has been multiple chief minister a few times, they just completely sideline her. And I'm not saying Vasundhara is behind it, but surely.
And they diminish Shivraj Chauhan, who's won by 8 lakh votes, at least 4 times Modi's 3-4 times Modi's margin. You know. Yeah.
But Shivraj might still have a hand to play now in the future through the RSS. So now the point is Modi. Gadkari might also, but Gadkari is, so we'll actually have to see arithmetic. So we'll have to see where the assembly elections take place. What the RSS in Maharashtra will think now, because they were pissed off with this Ajit Pawar.
And you know, I tell you, I travelled extensively through Maharashtra and I wrote about it also, and I said BJP alliance was imploding. I even mentioned in my write-up that they're going below 20 and they've gone below 20. But the bigger trend that I saw in Maharashtra was something that Saba is also kind of alluding to, which is that Marathi Asmita, people were very hurt at the way Maharashtra politics was pulverized or splintered by Modi and Shah. Then there were other multiple issues, Maratha reservation, Manoj Jarange Patil, then onion prices, Uddhav said that in Maharashtra there is only onion poll, there is no opinion poll. It's because the whole, Nasik, Lasalgaon ecosystem, largest onion market in the center took a decision to ban exports and the prices of onion crashed 80%. They were all distressed. People are coming to us on the roads and telling us that we are going to remove this government. So it was very clear that BJP alliance was losing, and Chhagan Bhujbal, who's part of this alliance, also was telling us that we are in trouble. Okay. And he also told us that BJP won't get more than 22-23 seats, which was an overestimate. BJP alliance fell below 20 seats.
How much did they get eventually? I've forgotten.
They got about 17 or 18, and BJP itself has got 9 versus 23 seats in.
Oh yes, that's
in fact, BJP's fall in Maharashtra is much more than as a ratio than in UP. BJP has fallen from 23 to 9, more than 50%. At least in UP, they've fallen from 62 to about 62 they had earlier. Now they're about 40, right?
I thought they're 33.
Sorry,
they're 33, no?
Yeah, so they've not.
Who thought?
Yeah, they've not fallen 50%. In Maharashtra, more than 50%. And as she said, in Maharashtra, the elections are due in October. And I believe that Maharashtra, Sharad Pawar, Uddhav and Congress, they will lead.
Sweep it.
Opposition politics will consolidate. Next big opposition politics consolidation will happen in Maharashtra. BJP is having an existential crisis there. Also because something which Saba has written in a book, deliberately BJP's central leadership disregarded dominant castes in various states, and they planted upper caste leaders like the Fadnavis. Fadnavis is almost run away from the bat. He surrendered. He says he's resigned and said, I'm going back to the. And they did that in Haryana also. And Haryana also they are going to face that problem. They imposed Khattar on a completely Jat dominated. So this was, of course, this was RSS BJP plan to have chief ministers who are not from the dominant caste, so that they can control them, right? So Maharashtra, in my view, is the next big event, political event, which will further weaken Modi and Amit Shah, and by logical corollary, it will strengthen the opposition politics, allies and all. It will give, I think, even people like Naidu more strength to bargain with Modi, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen how the BJP specifically under Modi, has been with allies in the past, which has always started out friendly and then often turned
Exactly,
very soon.
yeah.
I'll elaborate on
Yeah.
the Shiv Sena relationship.
Yes,
since-
please,
because,
yeah.
Shiv Sena was the oldest ally of the BJP. Even at the time when Modi's candidature was being pushed in the as the PM candidate, this is 2013, I imagine.
Yeah,
At that time, Sushma Swaraj was alive. Sushma Swaraj, even her daughter Basuri has won this election. She was alive. So you had these two. She was close to the Shiv Sena people, and a line came out that Modi should not be the candidate for PM. It came out of the
Shiv Sena.
Shiv Sena. It came out. Shiv Sena more or less said it also.
Bal Thackeray, right? No, Bal Thackeray was
No, I don't know whether Bal Thackeray, but the Sena said it. Sushma Swaraj implied it, and the person who said he will not be there if this happens, if Modi becomes the PM candidate, was Nitish Kumar. So he leaves the NDA of which he has been a part since he defeated Lalu in 2005-2006, and he's been chief minister, and he walks away from there. So the Sena. So what is the Sena's thinking? Apparently ideologically similar. The Sena's thinking is there is another. It's not about ideology. It's about power. It's about consuming allies and eating them up. The BJP is a multi. It reduces allies to empty shell companies, and it takes over. It tried that now. So just to so why does Udhav actually leave? Because he recognizes that as long as he stays with the Bharatiya Janata Party, his party will keep diminishing and the BJP will keep increasing. They suck the blood out of their allies. So they are look they are.
They cannibalize on
They
that.
cannibalize and they need that, and that's been their pattern all over.
Yeah.
Nitish Kumar is another.
As time progresses and their vote share keeps increasing.
Yes,
No,
and that was
It's so
happening.
interesting. Sabha used the term eating your own allies, because Kapil Komiredi, who's a writer, author, he written a book. He wrote a piece in the print a few days ago where he says he had a meeting with Chandrababu Naidu a few years ago, and Naidu told him that his biggest apprehension was that Modi and Amit Shah, they want to devour his party. Now that apprehension is, I spoke to some TDP people, uppermost in the mind, and I was traveled to Andhra. Every TDP candidate,
You travelled there.
yeah, every TDP candidate, Sabha was telling us, was expressing this apprehension that we are in an alliance, it's under duress, and they were saying that we hope that BJP is reduced on its own, is reduced to 230 to 40, so that we have our say, and that is what came to pass. In fact, one TDP candidate, Guntur, his name was I think Chandrasekhar or something. He's a big NRI US based guy, billionaire, come back to fight an election there, first time, and I think he's won. He told us when I asked him, how do you trust a party which has betrayed you so many times? 2014 Modi promised special status to Andhra, and since didn't happen, you severed links with. So his reply was very interesting. He said, at present we have no choice but to trust Modi. I said, how do you trust Modi? He said, at present we have no choice but to trust Modi. But the final results show that they have choices. Right? They have choices. And this was the view coming from TDP, you know, and mind you, it was an ED case against a Siemens Infosystems, software Infosystems, which was doing a skill development project for Naidu, that led to that whole arrest of Naidu eventually, and Anti-Corruption Bureau going after them. It was an ED which started the case. Naidu will now ask. In fact, one TDP member I spoke to yesterday, alliance partners, he said that Naidu would now insist that please reinstate that skill development project on which you have filed so many cases against the whole ecosystem, including Naidu, and put Naidu in jail. They want that thing to be reinstated, saying that was a genuine scheme, there was no corruption. Let's see what happens. Yeah,
So yeah, it's fascinating. In fact, the TDP will note. Now the BRS is a party that is also created out of defections. TRS rather, because they get a lot from the Congress, because it's an agitation for a separate Telangana, which the Congress in all its brilliant wisdom gives, even though that state gives them the largest chunk of 32 MPs during UPA. But anyway, so what has happened now as that party has collapsed is that the BJP has just cannibalized their structures. Cannibalized, okay, maybe I am using a rough word on them, they have just taken over. So you think people like Naidu's party is an organically created party which was created by his father-in-law. It is about regional pride, but Naidu in his economic visions could be very similar to how he's the kind of guy who likes to talk about smart cities and stuff like that. And also, and it was during his time also there was a very severe crackdown on left groups and so on and so forth. So Naidu has that aspect to him, but if he lets go of the regional pride, distinctive identity, he will be in trouble. But so he will be watching what has happened to the BRS. Look, they've been finished off. So, but I want to tell you what they did to.
And he would
Nitish
also be
Kumar.
watching how Orissa has been Naveen Patnaik's party has been finished
All
off.
the people who
So
collaborated.
yeah, now Naidu will be just seeing all these one after the other regional parties devoured by BJP, and it definitely would happen to him also.
Yeah, but the BJP of the Vajpayee era was different. There were healthy arrangements they had with people. They didn't devour each other. Oh, unbelievably, Mamata Banerjee was part of it, Naveen was part of it, Nitish was part of it. The Vajpayee regime was looking at them to get respectability because they were always operating with a Lok Sabha figure of 182 seats.
But the question is, will Modi change now? Will he become a little bit of Vajpayee in dealing with allies?
His nature, Vajpayee, Venu, one of my best sources over the years, he's passed away now, was A.B. Bardhan, the CPI lead Secretary General. He gave me a lot of stories and he used to tell me, they used to collect a lot of investigations and all that. So, when this disinvestment was going on, because they had a lot of union work and all that. Anyway, Bardhan was a very, he gave a lot of stories at that time and they used to like Vajpayee at a personal level. Do you see that happening with people? Vajpayee was not a problem. He may have raided
In
my
fact,
office.
Vajpayee's media advisor, Tandon,
Nice.
who was a journalist, he once told me that Jyoti Basu will call Vajpayee in the midst of some meeting. Jyoti Basu's call will come, and Vajpayee would tell everybody to leave the room because he would want to, talk in private. And Tandon would tell me that they would talk for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
That ain't happening with Mr. Modi.
It certainly didn't. So, Mr. Modi is not Vajpayee. He demolishes, it's not just about other parties. He can hardly put up with people within his own party. Everybody was silent because he was succeeding and he was giving them so much space. He was giving them power but now, in the end, even if you don't like the ideology of the RSS, there are human beings in the RSS who believe in what they believe, and they don't see why they were told to back Ajit Pawar, even on the caste front, so all these things have happened, and so this will coming from the top, I think that's going to happen. But what will be most interesting, and it will all take time to crystallize, everything will crystallize around other elections happening, but I want to specifically actually talk to you about Nitish Kumar. Nitish Kumar at the end of the day, Venu, is the one ally who's got the better of Vajpayee, of Modi. Yeah. One ally, somebody we all diminished. Why has Nitish been able to retain his support? Number one, so in Bihar, if you look at...
He's done better than BJP.
He's done better than BJP. Why? What has happened when everybody is saying... I know that the RJD has a larger vote share. That is always the situation. Bihar is divided in this peculiar. The third force, whoever it goes with, prevails. And I also believe that the RJD ticket selection was not a patch on what Akhilesh did. Akhilesh was... The amount of Dalits that he gave tickets to in Ayodhya, in Meerut, he gave it. So, he did a lot of very intelligent ticket distribution. The RJD, they would, I have nothing. You want to give your
so
two
you're saying
daughters.
that his social engineering matched BJP's in the past, this time, Akhilesh Yadav's,
Yeah, Akhilesh did it, and of course the transformation happens with the Dalits actually seeing with the section, Samvidhan,
Constitution under threat.
and Mayawati not being active, actually. If you think about it, Mayawati's nephew, before he was shut down, that Akash Anand, I think his name is, he said, na, inko 400 seatein kyun chahiye, kyunki ye Samvidhan badalna chahte hain. He said it himself, and then he was shut down for various reasons. So,
But
so
here,
that
here is an interesting question. I was talking to Yogendra Yadav about this last evening. If this election, especially in UP, was about saving the constitution, which to a large extent it was, various factors come into play. You know, the rural distress, you know, economic distress, inflation, joblessness, they all came together. But Saba would agree that Samvidhan Bachao was an important element, which made Dalits and Ati Pichras, you know, shift away from the BJP. So I was asking Yogendra Yadav now, what is the follow up in terms of governance on this constitution question? You know, now they've already done so many things, like they've brought in a new IPC CRPC, which is very draconian, where there is no police, you could be inside for 3 months before being produced in a court, which is now 15 days. There is media laws, you know, draconian media amendments to media laws, which have been challenged in various high courts. PMLA, draconian PMLA provisions. Now, will these things be brought back to the center of you know,
as part of the extended
debate, as part of from the opposition as well as the allies? So I think the allies, pressure needs to be put on the allies now to fix some of these things, to review many of these UAPA, PMLA, ED, CBI, basically they operate through these laws, right? So they're shutting down of the dirty tricks department. Now these are the things which need to happen in a focused way. I mean, the Congress of course is talking about it. I don't know whether
Nitish and always
Naidu, whether how much in their bargaining, how much importance they give to this aspect.
I'm not sure about that.
But which is affecting them also. Like there is an ED case against Naidu. I mean, he can't be saying that you take away all the case against me, but keep it against other opposition leaders.
I mean, he can.
No, I'm saying that in the past, like his alliance partner, who Pawan Kalyan. I can tell you that Pawan Kalyan had an alliance with BJP. When Naidu was arrested last October, he was furious. He went to jail to meet Naidu, came out, gave a speech saying that constitutional procedures are being violated in this country, and in that he also referred to Aam Aadmi Party, Manish Sisodia. He referred to how Shah Rukh Khan's son has been arrested without any drugs being found on him, and he made a much broader case. He came out of jail and he then announced an alliance with Naidu without telling Amit Shah. He took that call, you know. And
that's interesting actually.
Yeah, he stood by, and it was a public speech he gave. It was reported in Andhra Press, you know. In fact, I was following at that time, and he apparently, I am told that he is going to he's going to bring up some of these issues, you know. Say, and I hope he puts pressure on Naidu to at least restore some of the damage done to constitutional procedures in this country, you know.
But I still think that Naidu, because having witnessed how some of the southern parties operated in the Vajpayee era, of course nobody disliked Vajpayee, we must remember that. He was not a person who was overall disliked by the other human beings. Is that even the DMK was there for some time. And this Chandrababu Naidu gave outside support. He had a guy called Yeran Naidu, if I remember. Yeran Naidu, he died, but he used to have this parliamentary group and they had an office in parliament and all of that. DMK just took some very, very lucrative ministries they were interested in their state prosperity. Chandrababu Naidu never joined, but he would raise certain issues and he could get a lot of financial support and all, and now I think that will be, of course his first thing will be money, special status.
Yeah, but even Bihar is asking for special status, by the way. Yeah, both were promised in 2014 and both were betrayed, you know. So there is a lot of memory, you know,
but in Bihar, if I may just intervene here, a lot will be determined by how Nitish and Chirag Paswan, how they perceive what will happen in the assembly election. It's going to happen within a year.
Yeah,
so that it will determine a lot of, now Nitish Kumar is the most unpredictable guy here. We hear things about his health, but perhaps some of the looking helpless around Modi created sympathy for him also. And more than that, look, he's not someone who's a crony kind of a person. He works with caste, because there's very little scope to be that in Bihar. You don't have that kind of capital running around like you do in Andhra Pradesh. You know, you don't have that. So he understands, he always managed, his own caste group is very small, it's not like significant. He's always managed to maneuver for years. Within that, he was very methodical, he created this EBC. There is a memory that is there with him. And in
So caste census would be a big
caste
issue.
census now.
National caste census.
So
BJP is not.
It's not the issue. What I'm
not in favor of
wondering,
national caste
no, I'm wondering about something different. Does he want to remain chief minister? Because there have been rumors about his health. What will his calculations and motivations be as we go towards the Bihar election? That is so that I think is what I would look and see, because he's now, because there are rumors that his health is not so good.
So he may join the cabinet, right?
That also, I don't see him.
You think deputy prime minister or something?
No, I don't see him being sort of getting anything from being an underling visibly to Modi. At this point in his life, I don't see that working with Nitish. I think he will want to leave a legacy which has something, I imagine, something to do with his own organic political roots. And what it is, one cannot predict with this man, because it will depend on how he is being squeezed. So his is, you know, I mean, I'm more familiar with the terrain of Bihar to say that this is what can happen with Nitish Kumar, because assembly elections are here.
He's asked for this Agniveer to be scrapped or amended significantly, right?
And no, so far Nitish has not said all this about caste census. KC Tyagi now, see, the socialists. The socialists are notorious. They're delightfully good for the media, because they all talk openly. So that doesn't mean that is Nitish's considered position, but he'll allow Tyagi to speak up. That's
There would be another very interesting political economy fallout in my view. You know, all these, the votes that BJP has lost in say UP, especially Dalit, Ati Pichras, they've all been complaining in the last few years that this government is just arbitrarily selling off PSUs. And where are the jobs? If PSUs go away, where are the jobs? You know, they're asking for jobs, right? Job reservations and monetization of assets. You know, lakhs of crores, 5 lakh, 6 lakh crore. You know, they just sort of, I would say, wantonly announcing. You know, all that will be get calibrated now. You know, and I heard the chief economic advisor yesterday, ironically saying that through dialogue and collaboration, reforms will be better managed, which means reforms were not being managed earlier, because there is no dialogue, right? The farm laws were withdrawn, right? The land acquisition law had to be withdrawn. So they just could not manage, Modi and Shah could not manage this one way, either my way or highway kind of approach. So let's see what happens. A lot of decisions will have to be taken. First, of course, cabinet will have to be formed. How long do you think it will take? About 15 days?
It can take anything, Venu. I mean, one has lived through coalition eras. I don't know, but my most vivid time is, I was pregnant, if you want to refer, and my daughter, the year was 98, and I sat outside on a pavement for days and days while Vajpayee sat there with a sulky face waiting for a letter from Jayalalitha. And it dragged on and on. She gave, but she also brought the government down in a year. Then the DMK comes in, and the DMK is very cool about it. They take a lot of money making, potentially.
How much do you think, it's a question that I've been asking myself, given Modi and Amit Shah's tendency, proclivities, they would try to break some other party, try to use all kinds of allurements to actually hit, to make their majority more solid and not be dependent on Naidu and Nitish Kumar. Will they do that? If they do that, what kind of impact it will create among them?
But they're also starting,
I
mean, the position they're starting from is maybe not the kind they would need to be able to do that with much ease. Because these other parties are not going to feel the kind of either incitement or pressure.
I think Yeah, sure. You can even consider trying to break the Congress. Hypothetically, you could try anything. You can. I'm sure.
But
I'm
it
sure
is difficult to break a
ultimate-
100 seat party, 9900. They could probably go for some smaller formations where they can
Who's left to break? Think of that.
say
Who's
JDU.
JDU. No. That you think Nitish Kumar is the one thing that he would know? He has ditched. He was the most stable with Vajpayee and Advani. He didn't go here or there. He has moved back and forth. He obviously, we have to accept there's something about Modi which he can't stand. He goes back and forth. I mean, what else? He's just that on the other side, he's got this genuine sort of mass leader who works in this, Lalu and his whole family. Now he's produced 3. I mean, sorry, he's got many children, but 3 of them were active in this campaign. And I will say this. I will take some of his ticket distributions were very random. I mean, Pappu Yadav, you could have given, things they could have picked up a few more seats. Whereas Akhilesh, on the other hand, worked in a slightly more organized, scientific manner. So yeah. So all of this is there. So obviously Nitish has a comfort level which is off. So what are the pressures on him? What are the choices before him? It's going to be very hard for us to figure it out. One thing I can tell you is that there is a problem between him and Mamta Banerjee. Because he spoke rudely to her at one of the NDA meetings.
And Rahul, I think, on record said that because Mamta Banerjee objected to Nitish getting a position in that big India alliance.
So there was a whole sequence that went down, and a few months later he would walk out after the Ram thing and all that. He would walk out. He really did begin the coalition negotiations. Let's also not forget that. He came to Delhi, he met people, but even the he hosted the Patna meeting. He imagined that he would be given respect, and he imagined that Tejasvi would be groomed as the future of Bihar, and he was looking for a way out. But there were things which were happening internally, and the chemistry with Didi was part of the problem, because there was one, he was also cranky. He snapped at her about the mobile phone. And then she, he said, "Bar bar phone dekhti rehti hai." So she put her phone down, and then she sat like this. Then she picked it up and started to do this again. All this sort of stuff went on internally in the meeting.
And in the final thing, the final question is, which I've been thinking about, is how will institutions respond to this verdict? Supreme Court, like CAG or lower court, even high courts, police establishment, because bureaucracy, because bureaucracy and judiciary, they take signals very they're very sharp in taking signals, political signals from what's going on. So will they feel more elbow room to do what is right? I don't know.
So I don't know.
So that's also linked to our constitution question.
This kind of thing that was raised yesterday, that did some pollsters deliberately manipulate the market. And the fact that Rahul Gandhi said it, and it was stated, and the government had to give a response to it. You see, these kind of things are hard to prove, as you only told me before we start this conversation. But the point is, they create that thing that can you so openly be in collusion with the government? You're being so unbiased. So now we are seeing the impact of that, even on a TV channel. The pollster who went on, and then he wept a little bit, and then one well-known female editor of an institution said, "Oh, so sad to see him cry." Why is it sad? He was maneuvering things, the narrative in a direction. He was just wrong, and it's okay, people get it wrong, but this was not an ordinary thing that was being done. So what I'm saying is that kind of fear will be there. It's not just one-sided now. People are going to, parties will speak out. All of us who are, hats off to all of us. We have courage. To speak out against them in very dire circumstances. When there are threats, which are the threats on social media to real threats.
And cases.
Cases, yeah, all that kind of stuff. But there are so many people. I think the most remarkable thing about this election is that we fought. People fought. The parties, Congress fought, even the Ram Aadmi Party, which has not performed, he came out and they fought. Trinamool Congress was a bit of a stunner. They fought there in their section.
Delhi was a bit of a disappointment though. one had thought that because of Kejriwal's arrest, there was considerable anger, among even the middle classes who otherwise would have voted for BJP. But it seems, I'm sure Kejriwal sitting in jail would be very disappointed that they didn't win a single seat. Yeah.
I think this is a party that has been very badly disbalanced, Venu. And even though everybody kept saying that the Swati Maliwal case is having no impact in the narrative, or not among people, but it's a very tight cadre driven organization. She was one of them. And in the end, a lot of it, if you look at I was seeing a breakup, the poorer bastis and all are still voting for them. They're still voting for them. So I think this is a very...
The Delhi election is also coming, no?
Delhi election is coming, yeah. So this is a very, very badly disbalanced party.
What do you think will happen in Delhi election? Do you think Aam Aadmi Party, like the earlier pattern would prevail? Lok Sabha people voting for BJP and...
Do you think that Arvind will come out of jail now? Because the government is not the same?
Of course.
Do you think Naidu and all?
I think judiciary will be far more...
Judiciary will look... If he's but look, the Congress is also going to try and make a pitch for Delhi again. So there'll be a fight, a fierce fight, and maybe they'll make Kanhaiya. He's not done so badly, but that would still be a mistake. But anyway, they might sort of, he might come out, and then of course there'll be a fight in Delhi. They're very, very skilled in Delhi, and where, in my opinion, people vote for them because. So I'll just give you an example. There's this woman who I know who runs a small business in Mehrauli. The Ram Mandir, all these temples were blasting, and she was part of this Kirtan and Bhajan. I just presumed that she's a BJP voter. I ran into her and I said, Rima, ho gaya vote and all? हाँ दीदी, मैंने उसे झाड़ू को दिया. I said, झाड़ू को दिया तुमने बीजेपी को? नहीं, वो तो अब अमीर की पार्टी हो गई है. हम लोग को इतनी चीज़ें मिली है, फ्री बस में जाते हैं दीदी. So Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi still has its people, the services. Where they get it wrong, if I may say this, is that this idea that somehow they need to be like the BJP to defeat the BJP, and Arvind Kejriwal believes that. He has told me that. He believes that. Why are you letting them walk with the Hindutva platform? All these things don't matter. You just need to fight on the ground of services. This is a services delivery party with a very smart, creative leader. But I think they stress.
So you're saying that they don't have an ideological vision. Is that what you're saying?
No, their vision is delivery, which is everybody's vision is basically that these days. No, Venu. Even Modi, it's about what was the vision Modi offered? That it's a guarantee of what? Modi? What was Modi ki guarantee about? Congress guarantee in Karnataka was 5 promises. What was Modi guarantee? That guarantee is Modi. And what is Modi doing? Modi is talking Mangal Sutra, Mutton, Mujra. So I mean, guarantee is only Modi, Modi, Modi.
Somebody has tweeted a nice thread. I think Kunal Purohit, the journalist from Maharashtra, that wherever Modi said these things, most of the places they lost.
I think Fatima Khan has done a story, I think.
Wherever he mentioned Mutton, Mujra, this, that, Banswara.
I didn't find anywhere where it was working. Not that I travelled all the time. Did you? You were?
I travelled Andhra, Telangana, and then Maharashtra.
Oh, so did you find this wild stuff that was being said working?
No.
I didn't find any connection in UP.
No, nothing. No connection.
And that's shown, I mean.
Yeah, that's...
Even the RSS guys were not excited. I remember I went to this Firozabad, which is near Agra. It's a seat that the SP has won. And I went to the office of the BJP over there. And they said, nahi, I said, ये मंगल सूत्र का आप समझा दीजिए. हम नहीं, उनका कोई कारण होगा. I said, समझाते
My interpretation is that he started doing that because BJP is also very very clever. The internal surveys showed that they were people are moving away. I think there was the anxiety to retain their core base, just to keep addressing the core base.
But I think they revulsed some of the core base also.
They might have, yeah. But then they've got they've lost about what, 1.5%, 2% vote share.
No, see,
of course, they've got more votes in South, which is not a Hindutva vote.
They also did not.
Yeah, like the Andhra vote that they got was courtesy Naidu, because before that they had 0.3% vote share in Andhra. So that accretion to BJP's vote share cannot be called Hindutva vote.
So where is the Hindutva vote? So where are these guys going? So
you're right. Saba is right. if we need to see how much votes they have lost among Hindus in UP. That is a real measure of how much, how many votes that they have lost. Hindu votes which are not Hindutva.
And we are going to just only, we are going to say the Dalits and all that, but the Brahmins, all around Banaras, I mean, I put that into one of my columns, there was, even their time had come. That Modi's victory margin has come down, and there is one assembly segment there called Varanasi South, in which the Kashi corridor has been built. It's full of Pandits and Brahmins. Varanasi is a very Brahmin oriented city. But people have just mistakenly assumed that Banaras is only the city now of Modi and Hindutva. Banaras is a city of Bundkars, which are the weavers. It's a city of Kabir. It's where Kabir has an influence. It's a complicated sort of a place.
There was a lot of speculation
that... what I wanted to complete is that wafer thin margin in Varanasi South.
Yeah, exactly.
Where all the Pandits and all live, and 2-3 of the Pandits, because I've been going there for years, they had told me, one of them is a Mahant of an influential temple, ki nahi ji, Saba ji, is baar to kuch hone wala.
Saba, here is a question, taking off from what you just said, which everybody speculated on. If there was a strong candidate in joint opposition candidate, strong one in Varanasi.
Yeah, I think he would have been defeated.
Yeah.
If Lord Ram can be defeated, if the BJP presumes that they are somehow synonymous with Lord Ram, or the BJP can be defeated in Ayodhya, and that too brilliantly by a Dalit candidate in a general seat. It's amazing. Of course, Modi could have been defeated, and had the Congress, we're all...
Forget Congress. Suppose Dimple Yadav had, hypothetical, if she had stood from Varanasi, then?
She would have won, and Priyanka would have just swept it. Because again, this is a seat, the Brahmin population is very high in Banaras. You have others, you have Muslims very large. But you also have, Murli Manohar Joshi had once stood from the seat of Banaras.
I think, it's going to be a very interesting time to watch. And a lot of what we've talked about, how this party will change. When it's not change. Will it change?
Or will they change Modi?
Yeah,
we cannot rule that out. No, in time, the whole cycle, let's see some assembly elections, what happens in Maharashtra. Nobody's going to disturb anything. This RSS and all. But they'll be watching Haryana, Maharashtra, management.
And how much influence the coalition partners end up having is also going to be very interesting to watch.
Somebody like Prashant Kishore has made a lot of wrong predictions this time. He's made mistakes. But on one thing, I think he may be right. He said that you have to, the next event, political event that needs to be watched is how BJP deals with UP, Yogi Adityanath. I think it's a big question.
Yeah. And that's where Arvind Kejriwal was right. He threw one wicked idea into the wind. They're going to remove it in 2 months.
Thank you both so much for joining me. This has been really interesting, and thank you all for watching.